Everybody wants to get into a film festival. Nobody wants to talk about why they didn't. You post the laurel, you post the red carpet pictures, you don't post the 20 rejection emails. But here's the truth. Getting into a festival doesn't mean you've made it, and not getting in doesn't mean you're not talented. I've had 3 award-winning short films. I've traveled the country on the festival circuit. I've sat in the audience praying my film plays right, and I've shed a tear watching it on a big screen. I've also sat on the other side of the table judging films for 2 Oscar qualifying film festivals. So believe me when I say most filmmakers don't understand how this works. But we're going to fix that today. Welcome to In Another Thing with Shalako. So let's start with what film festivals really are. And let's clear something up first. Not all film festivals are the same. And one of the biggest mistakes I see filmmakers make, especially early on, is treating every festival like it serves the same purpose. It doesn't. There's a difference between a prestige festival and a regional festival. And understanding that difference can save you money, it can save you time, and it can save your ego. Now, when we talk about prestige festivals, we're talking about places like Sundance Film Festival, the Cannes Film Festival, the Toronto International Film Festival, Tribeca Film Festival, and these festivals have what's called marketplace power. The agents are there, the studios are there, sales reps are there, the press is definitely there. And if your film premieres at one of those festivals, it can change your career trajectory, representation, distribution, real visibility. That's the upside. The flip side of that, though, is that the acceptance rates are brutal. It's 2%, 3%, sometimes even lower. You're competing against the best films in the world, the directors, the actors. Now, let's talk about the regional festivals. The regional festivals focus on geographic areas or like a specific community. Festivals like the Montclair Film Festival, Philadelphia Film Festival, Urban World Film Festival, and the Pan African Film Festival. Like these festivals might not have 300 agents walking around, but they have something else. They have the audience you need, they have community, they have the conversations, and they have the one on one connections, or just even a group connection. Let me be clear. Regional does not mean lesser. It means different purpose. If you made a deeply personal story about fatherhood and living in South Jersey, that film might resonate stronger in Mount Clair than it would, of course, in Park City. It's a different room with different energy. Prestige festivals ask, can this film enter the global marketplace? A regional festival asks, can this film connect deeply with the audience? So here's what I've learned over the years. You can chase prestige or you can chase alignment because not every film is built for Sundance or Tribeca. And you know what? That's okay. Some films are built for community impact, some are built for career acceleration, and some are built for both if you're lucky or if you're good. But strategy matters. So stop submitting your film everywhere just because the submission portal is open. Ask yourself, what room does my film belong in? Because the goal isn't just getting in, the goal is getting in the right room and making the right impact. So before we get too deep into it, let me give you guys my personal experience with film festivals. I'm not going to go through, of course, every single thing, but just kind of take you back to the beginning, kind of show you where like it all started for me. Okay. So sit back, strap in. Here we go. So, one of the first films I did in New York City was a film called A Good Day. It was something that I had written after listening to a Metallica lyric from the song No Leaf Clover. It was okay. It was good. It was actually one of my favorites. It starred Marquand Smith, who's now the executive producer and an actor for Godfather of Harlem. So, shout out to Marquand for that. I didn't know much about film festivals back. This film got into a couple of local festivals, then got into the big experience that I had was a festival I got into in Atlanta, which was the let's see, it was a long time ago. Let's see if I remember. It's called the Spaghetti Junction Film Festival, which If you guys know what the spaghetti junction means, then you know what kind of brought it all together. But it was the first time that I actually had my film play in an auditorium. It was the first time I actually traveled to be a part of a film festival, to be a part of panels, to sit in an audience and have them watch the film. I sat and watched it with them, which was a very anxiety inducing moment. But because you never know, you don't know if people are gonna see your vision. You don't know if they're gonna, accept it. You don't know if they're gonna laugh where they're supposed to laugh, or if they're gonna be quiet when they're supposed to actually, not be quiet. You just don't know. But this first experience really taught me that festivals themselves are a great way for filmmakers to kind of get out there and not only share their work, but see how their work has an impact on audiences. And that was with the first film, A Good Day. Didn't do a lot of festivals. If I remember correctly, probably did maybe four or five. The one in Atlanta, actually, believe it or not, was the biggest one. So that should tell you something right there. But it was a good film. It was a good project. It might see the light of day again, or you may never see it, but it was fun. Once I got that one out of the way, I did my next film, which was a film called One Word, which was actually something I wrote after reading an article in GQ. It was a relationship story. It was probably one of my most successful pieces that I've done. We did whew, way over 20 film festivals because like I said, I was just learning. I really didn't know. I was applying to everything, everywhere, all at once. So the film, we won for Best Short at the New York International Film Festival. Received a lot of nominations. So just to talk about that for even a little bit, you definitely start to kind of feel like, okay, I'm good at this. I've made it. Like audiences see where I'm coming from. They understand my work. They enjoy it. You also being on the big screen really can show you the flaws in your work. And and a lot of stuff that you see is like, didn't mean to do that, or I wish I could have done this differently. But it's out there now. So you kind of go with it. It was one of the biggest productions that I did as far as the scale, as far as what we were shooting on, and then the entire crew and everything. And it was a really fun shoot. It was a really fun time. But the film had an impact, and it wasn't a prestige impact. It was more so on the regional side. But then it would actually even cross over on the prestige side, where we did the Cannes International Short Film basically marketplace where they shop your short film out and you see if you can sell it internationally. We've actually played with that film. We played three international film festivals. We played many festivals in California. It traveled really, really well, this film, and it did pretty well, and it was a fun time, and it was the first time that I won an award for any of my film work. It really kinda set me in the motion of thinking like, "Okay," like I said before, "This is it. I got this." This is gonna be where my career goes. I'm gonna do these short films. I'm gonna make this career happen. I'm gonna take these short films and turn them into feature films, which is kinda gave me to my next project, which was called The Truth About Lies, which, starred Lamorne Morris and Sedarius Blaine. That one was actually a piece from a feature film that I had. I wanted to tell that feature story, but I didn't have the $70 million I needed to get it done, of course. So I had taken a piece of that story and I made it into a short film. That one, I'll tell you personally, that one was my favorite project. But the interesting thing about that one cost the most. It was filmed. I mean, the scale was pretty big even for a short film. and it did pretty well on the festival circuit, but it didn't do what I was hoping it was gonna do. And this is where I wanna talk about as far as really learning about festivals and really figuring out where your film fit. We were nominated for a lot of awards. The acting was great, probably some of my best directing and my best writing, but it was also a type of film where I needed to navigate and figure out exactly where it belonged. One of the things I'm trying to think, the biggest festival I think we did, by biggest, I mean like kind of like biggest name, we did Urban World Film Festival, which was a really great experience that we were able to do. We played almost nearly maybe 7, 8 festivals in New York alone, a couple of festivals in LA, and actually, let me back up a bit, we actually did win an award at the Las Vegas Film Festival there in down there in Nevada, of course. But when I tell you about this film, and I mentioned it earlier about having a film where, you know, your career trajectory, or you think it's kinda like that calling card, that final say to say, "Okay, I'm gonna be this is it. This is next." You know, we didn't make Sundance. We didn't even make ABFF, which was really disappointing to me because I felt that, and a lot of other filmmakers that I came across who saw my work and then saw a lot of work at ABFF thought, you know, this film would fit perfectly down there. But the organizers didn't feel that way. They felt that maybe it was too long, or maybe just the theme didn't fit. But we didn't go down there. And there's no diss to ABFF because, you know, shout out to them. One of the biggest festivals we actually did was the Holly Shorts Film Festival out in LA. Shout out to Theo, Daniel, and Nicole. Great, great organizers, a great festival. Definitely put it on your radar. But that was really good. That one was, we won an audience award. And then because we won the audience award, we were able to actually play in the festival itself. And it really was an experience where you had the prestige, but you also had the community, and you also had the audience, and there were so, like, there was a lot of connections that you could actually make at that festival, and a lot more that you could actually even learn because the organizers basically put it together in such a way that it was a, very filmmaker driven. So, I only wanna say these things because I wanna let you guys know that, you know, I am not really new to this. Like I've done this over many years of going to film festivals. I've attended many festivals. I've sat in an audience where I was up for a prestigious award, HBO award, where I just knew our film was going to win, and we didn't. And it's heartbreaking, it's crushing, but, you know, it still was rewarding, and seeing how strangers or people you don't know react to your work. And then they seek you out. They wanna know what your name is. They wanna say, "Hey, you know what? I'm gonna look for more of what you're doing." And, that's pretty good. That's because that's why we do this, and that's what festivals are kinda even really created for, you know, less so for your career, but more so for connecting with an audience, and realizing that festivals are a bit of community, because not only that, you're connecting with other filmmakers, and you're learning about what people are doing over here and over here, and just the amount of talent that's there, and the amount of drive that's out there. It's a great it's a great community for filmmakers, as well as for the audience to see, you know, new talent, up and coming talent, and just enjoy good films. Okay? So, that's my personal story. Guys, got any questions? Definitely, please don't hesitate to ask. I will answer all the questions I can, but let's get back to it. Okay, so let's talk about being on the other side, the Oscar qualifying experience with the festivals that I was able to judge at. One was a strictly short film festival. The other was features as well as short films, and both were based in California. So most filmmakers never really get to be a part of Oscar qualifying film festivals. And so if you don't know what that means though, it means if you win certain categories at those festivals specifically, your film qualifies for the Academy Award consideration, which of course is very serious. Now, let me tell you what judging actually looks like. You're watching film after film after film, sometimes maybe 15, 20 in a day, sometimes more. Like you're not just sitting there trying to destroy anybody's dream. You're actually rooting for every project you see. But you got to remember, people, these judges are human. So, like, if your sound is bad, that's distracting right off the top. First 5 minutes, you have to hit right away because if it's dragging, especially in the short film category, you're going to lose a lot of judges that way as well. You got to remember, especially with a short film, if I don't understand your protagonist, if I'm not connected emotionally, pretty much almost right away, and like once we get disconnected, they're going to pop your tape out. It's hard really to get them back. It's not the politics, it's really just the storytelling. I saw a lot of incredible ideas fall apart because of technical issues. I saw beautiful cinematography, which was covering up weak character development. Saw a lot of simple films that were shot clean, paced well. They moved forward because they understood the clarity, but the first 5 minutes always matters. The sound matters, the emotional clarity matters. Like just getting the filmmakers or getting the judges' attention right away, all of that actually matters. So you have to pay attention to that, especially if you're doing a short film. Come up with a great story, and that's great, but you got to figure out a way to tell that great story. And it has to hit because you got to understand most of these festivals, and we're going to get into this later, you got to understand the way these festivals are structured. So they're not just going to throw your film in there because it looks good, because nowadays everyone films looks good. But it has to be more than that. There has to be more substance to it. And even on the feature side, it's just like any other feature film. If you're watching the film in theaters, you want your attention to be grabbed right away. You don't even have to give everything away right away, but the attention has to be grabbed right away. And remember, your judge, who's ever screening these films, they're watching 30 films and they have to get a lot done. So they don't really have a lot of time to kind of fool around if your film isn't really connecting. So pay attention. So let's talk real quickly about what filmmakers are getting wrong. And let me be direct for a second, because some of y'all are submitting unfinished films. You rushed post, you didn't fix the mix, you didn't test it in a room, you submitted because the deadline was tomorrow. Stop doing that. Don't do that anymore. Some of y'all are spending a lot of money on submission fees with no strategy. Just clicking submit on everything is not a strategy. That's gambling. Ask yourself this: who is this film for? What audience does it serve? Is it a regional story? Is it a genre piece? Is it experimental? Is it commercial? Target festivals that align with what your voice is, not just the ones with the most Instagram followers. And please fix your sound. I can forgive a lot of things. I can forgive a lot visually. I cannot forgive bad sound. Can't do it. Bad audio, no good for me. So fix that. All right, so let's talk the business side real quick. Festivals program strategically. They look at theme balance, runtime blocks, representation, audience engagement, the sponsor alignment. They're building an experience. They're not just picking the best 50 films, and trust me, I know. They're curating like a lineup. Also understand that the sales agents attend certain festivals, the distributors watch buzz from certain festivals. Not all laurels are equal when it comes to the marketplace. And in the post streaming era, things kind of shifted. Now the buzz can come from TikTok, it can come from YouTube, it can come from Instagram. Like a festival run isn't one strategy, and it's really not the only strategy. So, with that said, should you even submit? So, let's have this conversation. You should submit if you want community, you want to meet other filmmakers, you want structured exposure, you want credibility in certain spaces. But you should submit if you're not emotionally prepared for rejection, you're still fixing the edit, you don't have submission money budgeted, as well as travel money, you think a festival will validate your identity, Rejection is all a part of this. I've been rejected before. I've also won. Like, neither defines who you are long term. At this stage of my life and my career, I don't look at festivals the same way I did in my 30s. In my 30s, it was about proving something. Now it's about building something, building community, access, mentorship, like possibly creating a space that didn't exist for me, because that's what longevity kind of teaches you. At least that's what it's taught me. Like, your value isn't just getting in the room, it's in eventually helping design that room. And that's a different kind of power that a filmmaker has. Okay, and finally, film festivals are not the finish line, they're a room. And when you walk into that room, walk in prepared. Prepared technically, prepared emotionally, prepared strategically. And if you get rejected, remember that's not the end of your story. It's just feedback from a specific room. Okay? So keep building, keep refining, keep telling stories that matter to you. And another thing, don't let a laurel define your talent. Okay? Just keep working. You'll get there. Make sure you have a strategy before you approach any film festival. All right? So I'll see you guys next episode. Please remember to like, to share, to just, send this to maybe one of your filmmaker friends who are just spending a lot of money on film festivals that they're probably not going to get into. All right. And remember, if you have any questions, please just send them to me. Just ask. We can have more to discuss, because the film festivals, it's a process. It's part of the filmmaking process, and it's something that everyone wants to be involved in. I will answer any question you send, and maybe we can learn something along the way. All right. Take care. Thanks for checking out. And another thing.